And what they were doing, unlike other media, was having to wipe this thing down to get rid of the dust and hopefully the static. But it still might not sound clean. I'm here at the North Logan Fire Department. It's built by volunteers and staffed by volunteers. But the staff part might be changing. Peter and Marianne Weston Mon introduced the first legislation to recognize women's rights to vote in Utah in 1870. They lived here, but that house was torn down. Here at Utah State Outdoor Programs, they have beacons, shovels, and backpacks. Experts say you should take this gear out, but there's no guarantee it'll save you. A relationship expert disagrees. With initiatives like K-Toot, kick technology off of tables, and K2, kick technology out of beds. Diet expert Brooke Parker recommends perimeter shopping, which means instead of shopping in these middle aisles where the processed foods are, head here to the perimeter of the store, where you'll find fresh produce, meat, dairy, and fish. I'll show you a dessert you can make for Valentine's Day, and only for a couple dollars. Hi everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to make rugaliki, which is a Russian dessert which basically translates to a cookie, croissant type of thing. Here I have all of my ingredients. That's right, Shay. USU had their statesman debate today where presidential candidates talked about their platforms and goals. Both executive vice presidents were asked what type of qualities a student delegate needs to sit on the tuition review committee. The student events vice president candidates were asked how and why students benefit from student fees. You can watch the presidential candidates debate tonight at 6 in the Sunburst Lounge. The winners will be announced on Friday. Back to you in the studio, Shay. I'm here at the North Logan Fire Department. It's built by volunteers and staffed by volunteers. But the staff part might be changing.
Battalion 70, Truck 70, Engine 71 respond on a possible structure fire.
Logan and North Logan fire crews respond to a call.
This is a first alarm assignment.
With North Logan units helping out full-timers in Logan. This type of incident is not straining their resources.
Rescue 120, Battalion 120, respond to medical sick person.
There have been more medical calls and not enough volunteers.
The call line just keeps going up and up and up. We have a hard time filling our shifts.
The pool of volunteers is shrinking and the number of times they're getting called out to provide service is growing.
Their solution? Combine Logan and North Logan fire operations.
We want to make sure our citizens have the best services that we can provide. We need, when they call 911, we want to make sure they have somebody that knows what they're doing, knows their job.
North Logan keeps growing, and Mayor Can says the merger is what's best for the cities.
When it's your house that's on fire, or when it's your relative that's having the heart attack or the stroke, folks really want to have the level of response that's needed to take care of whatever emergency situation comes.
I believe in my heart that we're moving down the right path. We knew we had to merge. We knew we needed the help with the call volume.
Logan City still has to approve the contract, but if they do, North Logan will keep their trucks and some of their volunteers. In North Logan, Lesya Feinstein, ATV News. Needle drops were aging out, along with people who were listening to them, but not for 24-year-old Ben Houghton.
This kind of forces you to sit down and listen to an album start to finish, so you kind of get the whole experience that the artist intended for you to have.
All right.
And he isn't the only one with that love for his turntable. Ethan Pack says that experience is what some millennials are after.
So whereas a piece of vinyl looks like a material thing, you know, that somebody picks up and puts on the shelf, they're really paying for the experience of like being able to sit down and either, you know, listen to it fully by themselves with the headphones on or have friends over and listen to it all together.
It's not just millennials record hunting.
I like to look through these old used ones and I think back of when somebody maybe 50 years old first got this album and they were listening to it and where they were listening to it and what they were doing.
And what they were doing, unlike other media, was having to wipe this thing down to get rid of the dust and hopefully the static. But it still might not sound clean.
Sometimes they even sound better when they skip a little bit, you know, and pop and crackle.
Some guys are definitely looking for that or definitely feel some catharticness when they hear that for sure.
Whether it's the sound of history or tomorrow's hits, the vinyl trend could be here to stay. Lesya Feinstein, ATV News. Women gained the right to vote 100 years ago, but it was 150 years ago for Utah, and a lot of those activists started right here in Logan. A history major created a tour you can take on your phone that lets you walk in their footsteps.
The Bluebird!
Meredith Richards is learning something about this Logan restaurant.
It was the location of the celebratory ball after Utah women's voting rights were again recognized in 1896.
From a downloadable tour of sites significant to Utah's voting rights.
Learning the history in a local case study in a small town is a really great way to kind of see the process of how it went from a small movement and fed into a national one.
Next on the tour, the Logan Tabernacle.
This document here tells me that the Logan Tabernacle hosted the foundational meeting of the Women's Suffrage Association of Cache County in 1889. Wow, that's cool. That's crazy that this thing has been around for that long, you know?
Peter and Marianne Weston Mon introduced the first legislation to recognize women's rights to vote in Utah in 1870. They lived here, but that house was torn down.
Yeah, with the buildings, I mean, unfortunately, some of them aren't standing as they used to be, which is too bad.
Miller says what happened in those buildings created opportunities for women we haven't always had.
Women's rights have always been something that have been necessary to fight for. They haven't just been given to us.
You can find a link to the tour on our Facebook page.
Don't get too close.
Shooting this video is all bystanders could do after a plane crashed and burst into flames in this Roy neighborhood.
They're on top of that house. And then it hit right there.
Before it hit the ground, witnesses took photos of the plane in trouble.
The airplane, you could see as it was flying, it was completely sideways. And the left wing dropped once, it regained, it dropped a second time. The second time, it continued a little bit, veered all the way across I-15, and then it went straight into the ground.
Inside the wreckage, 64-year-old pilot Dave Good.
It's kind of sombering because you know somebody's life was just lost.
I'm kind of scared to go on planes.
This is the 5th crash in 2.5 years in this area.
When you look around at airports around the country, it's rare that they have one plane crash in that kind of time. And where we've had 5, we think something needs to be looked at.
This is the runway in Logan. When planes approach here, they fly over farmland. In Roy, it's a different story.
The airport's been there longer than most of that community, but we let people build in those areas, and they should feel safe.
One person who doesn't feel safe, the chief of police.
I'd like to see a study from all agencies involved, take a look at this, find out, is there a common denominator? Is there something that's happening that's causing these that we can correct? There should be. Planes are safe.
Lesya Feinstein, ATV News.
What are we watching?
Ansley and Sam Merrill have been married for about 4 months. They are together tonight with their technology. They say it brings them together.
Good part of our relationship, she was living across the country, so all we had was being able to talk to each other on the phone and FaceTime and text one another.
And keeps them together.
We like to send each other things like dog videos or things that we find funny in our day. It can bring us together if there's a TV show that we want to watch together and have that quality time laughing together about it or talking about it.
Check if it's on Hulu.
A relationship expert disagrees with initiatives like K-Toot, kick technology off of tables, and K2, kick technology out of beds.
I call them sacred places, right, for connection. And if I'm on my phone or my wife is, and I'm wanting to connect, at least talk about my day, I don't want to interrupt, right? They're busy with something, and if they're on social media, then it can create problems.
Oh, cool.
Even though after maybe a long day, all you want to do is kind of unwind and relax and look at your phone for a little bit, it can distract you from one another. There are times when, I'm on my phone too much or she is on hers too much.
When it comes to it impacting us, I feel like it can strengthen us and it can have a negative impact as well.
Did you start your new billing period?
think you just need to make a conscious effort to, you know, put your phone away and try and learn something new about each other. Even if you've been together for 20 plus years, you can always, you know, discover something new about each other.
Lesya Feinstein, ATV News.